Looking at this game between Newcastle and FC Barcelona, Barcelona's victory at Newcastle was not just about the scoreline. I really do think that a lot of it has to do with the midfield dominance. Pedri and Frenkie orchestrated the game with a lot of precision, a lot of composure, tactical awareness, and they proved that they were very decisive in order for us to overcome Newcastle and their aggressive pressing. I want to speak about these two players and really give you guys an idea just how good Pedri and Frenkie de Jong are right now, and most importantly, when they play together. Pedri's passing accuracy under pressure was shown to be really good. 92 passes were completed and 16 of those went into the final third with an average of 91% pass accuracy. We look at Frenkie de Jong, his pass accuracy was 95% with 87 passes, and because they were working together very close on the pitch, they exchanged 26 short passes, maintaining possession in tight spaces. The reason why Frenkie and Pedri had to pass back and forth to one another is because Newcastle were trying to press, and the only way Barcelona can progress the ball is by either Frenkie passing it to Pedri or Pedri passing it to Frenkie. So both players consistently offered passing outlets, and it ensured Barcelona calmness under pressure. The fact that Pedri showed the ability to receive and break lines, it does come by no surprise, and it created a lot of attacking opportunities. And then at the same time, you had Frenkie de Jong next to him with the anticipation and with the interceptions. Isn't it crazy how the Premier League, knowing their spending power, knowing that the Premier League allows for Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, Liverpool to spend so much on midfielders, right? We have seen so many great world-class midfielders over the past few years go to the Premier League, but only to find out that the best midfielders right now are in FC Barcelona and not in the Premier League. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to instill pride into this Barcelona team. I'm saying this because even one of the main players of Newcastle stated that playing against FC Barcelona was just much different. We have played teams like City, Liverpool, but Barcelona was a different animal. Like, can you imagine Liverpool, City, Newcastle, Manchester United spending so much money per summer, but only to find out that they don't have the best tactical midfielders in the world? It is only in FC Barcelona. Going back to Pedri, I remember there was this moment where Pedri on the 93rd minute had a brilliant moment where even though he had to go through heavy contact by one of the Newcastle defenders, he turned with the ball and created one last chance. It was amazing the way that he dribbled through all of those players. It very much does remind me of Iniesta. There was also a moment where he stole the ball away from Bruno, one of the most physical defensive midfielders in the Premier League, and so he stole the ball away from him and launched a decisive attack. I just love the way that Pedri has been playing as of late. The way that he controls the ball, feints, and confuses the opposition to evade pressure. It is amazing. Frenkie de Jong also has his own style. Once again, master at press resistance. Barely lost the ball in the match. And when he did not have the ball and he needed to defend, he anticipated all of the plays correctly and launched progressive runs from deep as soon as he did win the ball. This is exactly what a defensive midfielder needs to do at Barcelona. I'm happy to see that Frenkie has truly evolved into becoming a very reliable number 6. No wonder the Newcastle midfielders were like so frustrated, so confused on why they have not been able to successfully take the ball away from the Barcelona midfield. This is why I really do think that players like Marc Bernal and Gavi are going to blossom and maintain a long run at the club, is because they have the tactical intelligence, they have the ability to read games, how to intercept, how to anticipate, how to progress play. They have that. So that is very good news for the future of these two players, even though I know that it may seem like they're not receiving any minutes at all as of right now. So stepping away from that, I want to give a mini match preview between Barcelona and Getafe, because that is going to be our next match. And I'm going to be making a video solely on this conversation later down this weekend, but I do want to give you guys a brief understanding on just where I'm currently sitting at in terms of Barcelona's plans for the upcoming game, because after a very demanding 2-1 win over Newcastle in the Champions League, I believe that we need to rest our players. Like, for example, Cubarsí, he had to go through a knee discomfort earlier in the game, and I know that a lot of reports were stating that it's not that serious, that it's just something that they wanted to take with a lot of caution and say, like, you know, even though it does not bother you, Cubarsí, you still have to come out, it's okay, just rest, we'll put in somebody else. But even with that being said, I just don't really want to see Cubarsí in this game against Getafe. I know that ideally he would be the best case scenario in our defensive line, but with a team like Getafe, once again, a team that we know is going to be sitting back deep, the majority of our focus should come from the attack and make sure that we score as many goals as possible. Our defense is going to be okay. Our defense is not going to be tested whatsoever. I'm also a little iffy on Frenkie de Jong as well. I know that he just returned. I know that we just talked about him and how great of a player he is, but I would like to see him get rested. He just came back from injury. There may need to be more monitoring for Frenkie. Like, I would like to see Bernal come in, or maybe even Casado to play next to Pedri. So to me, in my opinion, the likely starters that I would like to see for this match would be for Casado to be in there, Christensen to also be there at the back with Eric Garcia, and maybe even throw in Dani Olmo in the number 10 position, because Dani Olmo has already gotten the, I would say, quote unquote punishment, because after that underwhelming performance that he had a few weeks ago, Fermin Lopez did take his spot, and for like 2 games consistently. Maybe now we can rotate again, take Fermin Lopez out and put in Dani Olmo. And just to give you guys a brief reminder, Lamine Yamal is not going to be be there. Gavi is also not going to be there. Alejandro Balde is also going to be rested. And then you have Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, who's also not going to be there. Now let's move on towards the last conversation. And it's not like the best news. I hate to like report this, but it is what it is. And this is going to be the reality. Barcelona's salary cap has gotten lower. Back on February 2025, it was reported that Barcelona's salary cap was 463.6 million euros. That was really good. It was like an all-time high over the past 3 to 4 years. But fast forward 8 months later on September 2025, like today, our salary cap is now 351.3 million, meaning that we have gone down a total of 112.3 million euros. Once again, in terms of our salary cap. Now, the reason why it has been dropped by La Liga is because Barcelona have lost a lot of money when it comes to the VIP seats lever. We never really received the full 100 million euros that we were supposed to receive. It was approved by one auditor, but rejected by another. There was also a slight revenue loss from the Spotify Camp Nou closure, because it was estimated that the Camp Nou was supposed to be finished a little earlier than usual, and we were supposed to be gaining some of those funds, but because it has been postponed to a later date, Barcelona have been losing a lot of revenue. I mean, like, bro, think about it. There's a reason why Joan Laporta set the ticket prices at the Johan Cruyff Stadium at like 900 euros per ticket. There's a reason why. It's because Joan Laporta knew that he needed the revenue, he needed the money, but it has not been enough. And so despite selling players, cutting wages over and over again, the club has been hit. And so for comparison, Real Madrid are enjoying themselves. If we look at Real Madrid, they're the highest in La Liga in terms of spending power and their salary cap. It is a total of 761.2 million euros. Barcelona do come in second, but they're far behind Real Madrid's spending power, meaning that Real Madrid can easily sign a player like, let's just say, for example, Julian Alvarez with no problem. But if we were to sign a player like Bernardo Silva, for example, for 15-20 million euros, Barcelona cannot do anything. Javier Tebas praised Barcelona for building a competitive squad through the academy players and smart signings. And he said that, you know, it's not necessary for Barcelona to buy big. However, in my opinion, and I think that all of us can agree, ideally, we would like to see Barcelona be in a position where we can spend a lot of money if we need to. Like, yes, La Masia is going to take care of a lot of pockets, a lot of spaces, but there is going to be that moment where maybe La Masia might not produce a striker that we want, and we have to go out there into the market and buy a striker. And what if that striker is worth 90 to 80 to maybe 100 million euros? We need to be in that type of position. And so La Liga have made it very clear that, you know, the reason why it has been dropped immediately is because of the loss of the 100 million euros that we were supposed to receive through the VIP revenue. But they have also claimed that they're confident Barcelona will recover because they have a global brand that is very strong. But that is it right. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.